Hello, I hope you can see me okay. I'm just letting you know now I haven't got a dog with me today because Holly and Rafe are out in the garden with my husband having a lovely time, so I didn't really want to ruin that. I have got a fabric dog, so if you like dogs, there's a little fabric dog, and today I've kind of dressed up. My makeup I did do this morning, but just before I came on camera, I put some red lipstick on and I put my headband on and my top. And you may have saw my blog about this. I wanted to show you this last time, but this was a dress that I bought that I didn't really like, and then it was sitting in my wardrobe. And like with lockdown and everything, you think, oh, what can I, make with what I've got? And I turned it into a tie top and a headband. I was hoping to get a pair of pants out of it as well, but unfortunately there wasn't enough fabric, and actually the dress was quite deceiving. It looked like one big piece at the bottom, but when you looked underneath it was all fabric panels. So actually, even though I've cut the band across the bottom of the skirt, there is all lines every now and then around it, which I would have preferred not to have, but I'm really happy with it. And actually I use a photograph of me. I'm not even though I craft with red, I'm not a kind of red person really, so it was a bit out there me even buying this dress, and I think that's why it was just a bit too much. So I'm trying to experiment a little bit more with colours and get out of my comfort zone a little bit and just try different things, so anyway, I have wrote a few notes this time because I do and ah a lot in my videos, and I'm going to try and cut that down. And if you've been following me on social media, you might have been seeing a few little videos with music and little snippets. And if you watch my last video, I was making this skirt, and it was all different clips, and this is me practicing little movie making. So hopefully I'm becoming a little bit more techie, because I'm always telling you how untechy I am. I'm a bit of a pen and paper girl. I don't have things coming up on the screen. I don't know how to put photos up, but I do know how to do little clips and things now. So I don't know if there's going to be any clips in this. I haven't decided yet at the end or whatever, but if there are any clips I want to add that I've been putting on Instagram and things, I'll either put them at the end of this or I'll put them on my blog, which will be, when you've watched this video, if you go to the description at the bottom, and there'll be a link to my blog, because I always now do a blog post that's connected to this, and then people sign up to my blog, they fill in their email and they get emailed when I post the blog, and I always put a link to my video as well, so they hear about it that way. So in my last video, if you watched it, you'll have seen I made a skirt out of a curtain. Now what the idea was, it was basically just a toile. Now a toile is just a practice garment, and I do like to sometimes make a toile in a way that I could wear it if I like it, and basically that's what I did here. I picked up, I've told you in my last video, so I'm sorry if you're seeing this again, and I'll be really quick about this. I bought a curtain in IKEA to go in a living room, which used to be this room, and we basically moved out of here and we live out the back now, and then we had no use for them, and there was a bargain bucket in IKEA that eyelet curtains, and I basically used the curtains to make a toile, but I actually really like it. So this is my finished skirt. That's the front of it, and it's got box pleats, and this is the back. It shouldn't have a button. The zip should go all the way to the top on this pattern, but I ended up doing that because I made a few, when I tried it on, even though the skirt should have been too big for me based on my measurements, when I tried it on, the bit where the zip met the band, even though there was a waistband, but the zip was meant to go to the top of the waistband, it was just a little bit snug. I had it on and I thought, gosh, if I went out for like a big meal, I'm going to be feeling a bit sick. I think I'm okay now. So I took the band off. I added a little bit on. I thought I'm going to have a button, and I did let the skirt out a tiny bit just on this one side, so there's like a little pocket bit now that comes out here and here, but then grades down back into the pocket as it should be, but you can't even see that. So yeah, so now there's plenty of room in it now, so I'm really pleased with that. But why I'm mentioning that is I forgot to say in my last video, I mentioned that I had a fitting issue and I added a bit of band on and put a button, but I forgot to mention I did let it out a tiny little bit just here, and then basically graded it back down to what it was, just to give me that tiny little bit of room. And the pattern, you'll know if you've seen my video, was the SewOver tulip skirt, and I got it out of an old magazine, and it had a full-size pattern. But I'm starting to think, now I had this issue before, please tell me if you've had this issue. I made the SewOver It cami from this magazine as well, the Simply Sewing magazine. The cami was in issue 43, and the skirt, SewOver It tulip skirt, was in issue 5. You didn't get full-size patterns with this. Oh no, well I did get a full-size pattern for that. It was like a paper insert that you get, do you know when you get a paper clothes pattern, and that came in it. But what I'm starting to think is, I know that was printed out smaller, unless Lisa's no, not that one. Well, it looks like the cami, doesn't it? That in this pattern was smaller, because hello, I'm filming. Hi, thank you. It's my husband returning my X-Acto knife. He's been cutting out bits of his deck slip mats. It's circles on my self-healing mat to stand up his decks or something like that anyway. So, right, I've lost my train of thought now. So basically, I ended up buying the pattern separately from the magazine, and when I measured them up against each other, the bought pattern was much larger for the same size as the one in here. So I'm starting to think, did I have a little bit of a fitting issue with this, because this was printed up smaller in the magazine? So look out for that, please look out for that. I'll be certainly looking out for that in future. So I'm going to move on from that now, because I've just seen, I'm 7 minutes in, and so far all I've talked about are things that you've seen before. Right, so let's move on. Now, if you follow me on social media, you'll maybe know that I promised myself that I would stitch a Christmas red work block every single month, and it will work towards making a patchwork quilt, and I'll need to buy Christmas reds to make all the patchwork pieces to go with this quilt. And it's getting near to the end now, so I did complete my April block, which I'm going to show you quite late on. I only literally picked it up 4 times in the evening, and it was late April, and I actually just finished off the last bits. It was still in April, it wasn't May, and I've actually I've started working on my May one already, and I've only basically, the May one, I've been trying to do the bigger ones first, so they're getting smaller and smaller, so they're getting quicker to do. So the May one, I'd say there's a similar amount of stitching in the one I'm going to show you that I did in April, in the quantity of stitching. But once I get past that one, the next one for the June is even smaller, and then the one for July, they're like little squares, and there's 4 of them. But what I'm starting to think now is I might try and hurry those along, because I'm going to be joining. I've been in it before, but I wasn't in it for the last year, but I'm going to join Mandy Shaw's Red Work Club. She has a Red Work Club every year, and basically with that you do get a block every month to make a quilt. So that is one of the reasons I didn't join the last year. I did the year before, is because I had this Christmas one to do. But because this is really coming to an end now, the red work part of it, I've decided that I'm going to join up with Mandy's again. It has given me a little bit of anxiety, because I have got some lampshades that I haven't yet done, and a few other little red work pieces that I haven't done. But I think I've really got to get on it this year and just really get through my red work. I've got to do it, because it's just all going to build up on me. So this one isn't Mandy Shaw. This is the daisy chain design Christmas carol quilt, and this is the carol that starts while shepherds watch their flocks by night, and it's dot dot dot, and then it's a little bit further on. So this is my most current one. So there's little shepherds and sheep and trees, an angel and little stars, and that's been really delightful to stitch. And actually the one I'm stitching now is really delightful. Well, they've all been delightful, even though I've only been doing one a month. It's not to force myself into doing one a month, it's to stop myself doing too much, so I can do other things like knitting and crochet and other crafts and things. But I think even though I've got that knitted dog I really want to do, I'm just gonna have to push along a little bit of red work before I pick up that's what I've decided. So I've got to buy Christmas reds fabrics for those, but I might wait until lockdown is over and I can go and buy those fabrics. Right, the next thing, clubs I'm going to mention. Well, I've mentioned the Mandy Shaw one that I'm going to rejoin, and I've also joined, and this is very cheap, I think I've paid £5 or £6. It's the PDF club for the SewOver It, and it's basically for that you pay, that's all you pay for the whole year. It's £5 or £6, and you actually get to choose a pattern for that, which I haven't chose a pattern. You get a code to use, you choose a pattern, and you also get to know about new releases before everybody else, and before they're released to the public. But if you join and you've got your code, you can't use that new pattern that code on that new pattern. If you wanted to use it on that new pattern, you'd have to wait a month and then you could use it. The only thing I was a little bit disappointed about joining, and you do get to join a Facebook group that nobody else can join. You have to be in this club, so that was something that's nice as well. But the only thing that was a little bit disappointing, when I joined the group, the new pattern release that came out, all of a sudden there was loads of people posting them, and I thought, well, how is that so? How am I in this PDF club to get this pattern? Not because I want to beat everybody else, but I'm on the understanding I'm going to get this pattern before everybody else. And then there's all these people that have made it. I think they're pattern testers, and so they're getting it first, and so yeah, so it's a little bit disheartening actually, that aspect of it. So I can't really tell you much more about it really, because I haven't bought that pattern that was the new release. I'm in the Facebook group and I haven't redeemed my code yet for a pattern, so that's where I'm at with that at the moment. And basically a lot of people, I find, are doing more things online because of COVID-19. So another club that started, now I'm an admirer of a shop that somebody has, and it's their brand, Treffry. She's got a shop in Cornwall. She's have two shops, one in Padstow, one in St Ives, but now she's only got the one. And she does she sells free motion embroidery pictures, and actually some on print and things, and she does do like about yearly workshops, and it's no disrespect to Poppy, but they are quite expensive. They're all the way down in Cornwall, and the opportunity to go to them is pretty slim, isn't it? Unless you can go to Cornwall on that date and you've got that money to go, then unless you're someone local and you're, you know, things are, you know, you can afford it, then you're not going to ever get to go. So I didn't receive an email straight away about this, but Poppy sent out an email saying she was going to do an online club because of the current situation, and she was she was selling these kits to make some projects. But because I have a lot of emails off people, a lot of them go in my junk and I miss things, and I missed out on that. But then she did send out another email saying she would let a few more people join, but you wouldn't have the kit to make the things, you'd have to try and use your own things. So I did that, and so far I have been able to make the items. The one item I did have to order some food safe lining in, and I did manage to get that from Poppy herself, but she's no longer selling that now. She was basically saying, I'm selling this till Thursday and I'll no longer have it. So I don't know what this product is actually called. If I wanted to buy it again, I'd have to probably do a bit of research. So far I've managed to make the things with my supplies. So the first thing I've made in the club is this pot. I'll just take that out. Actually, I'll show you this while I'm here. I ordered a buttonhole cutter. Normally, how I cut buttonholes is I do my buttonhole. I place a pin in the two ends, or just one at a time though, and I use a seam ripper just to cut through it. But I've gone a bit fancy and I treated to myself, it wasn't expensive, a buttonhole cutter. I haven't used that yet, but I'm keeping it in the pot. So this is my fabric pot. So basically Poppy, she basically sends you a template, and the template, it was basic. They were just, so anybody could do this at home, they were just circles and squares, and basically you have to do the decoration with your sewing machine. You basically free motion embroidering these flowers and stems onto your pot. So I've done that all the way around, and I actually, it's been just over a week now since this happened. I burnt my thumb. I did post this on Instagram, and basically I'm not in pain anymore. Obviously it's not burning up anymore. It did keep burning up. I ran it under the tap for 10 minutes, and I probably should have done it for 20 minutes. I've since found out. So it was on the night of clap for NHS, so not the one that's just gone, the one before. And I was in agony when everyone was clapping. I actually had my hand in a glass of icy water. I couldn't clap. I tried. I went at the odd time, and it was just awful. It was such a bad burn. I did it with a craft iron. Doing this actually, I just wanted to, because my work was hooped up, I just wanted to press my fabric down. And this iron, it's like a little iron, and you kind of want to go like this with it, or like a pen shape, but the bar is all exposed, and because I pressed really hard, I had a really nasty burn. I think I've got permanent damage. I don't think I'm ever going to get the feeling totally back in my thumb, in all honesty. So so I had to do this with a burnt thumb then, and so I was having to basically work like this, and it was just awful. But I'm really happy with my pot. It's really lovely, and I like that I've used my own supplies, and actually people that have made the pots using the supplies they were sent, they've said how much they like mine, so that's nice, isn't it? So I'll pop that back on this. That's where I tend to keep it at the moment. And then and what else? Oh right, so the thing I needed the sandwich wrap for, it was to do a bee. So basically I did the free motion embroidered bee. Then when I was waiting then for supplies, and I was really itching to do some more free motion, so I did something else, but I'll get to that in a moment. So to start with, this is what I free motioned, this bee. Now if you have a look on Instagram, I did a little video and I had a sandwich in it and thing. So basically it's got Velcro, you open it up, it's all it is, anyone could make this. It's basically a square with a food safe lining and an outer. You know, you don't have to do anything fancy. Okay, I free motioned embroidered this bee. I'm quite proud of it. If you have a look, see this is stitching. I've actually done that free motion embroidered. I've had to do shading, and that's, even though I've done outlines and decorative things, I don't think I've ever done shading before, and done that for the eye. So I'm really quite proud of that actually, and I'm gonna like use that when I can take sandwiches and things out again. And I've got enough to make more sandwich lining, so I am gonna make more for other members of my family. So while I was waiting for this sandwich lining to be delivered, I was itching to do some more free motion embroidery. I'm not new to free motion embroidery. I've been doing it probably about 7 years, but I'll probably do one piece a year, so not a lot, but I'm starting to do it a little bit more now. So this is the biggest thing I've ever done free motion embroidered, and it's this. And I did a little video. I don't know if you've seen, I'm practicing my movie making thing, so I've done a little movie. It's on Instagram and Facebook. It might be that I add it to my blog at the end of this. I haven't written up my blog yet, but when you see this, hopefully the blog will be there. So the videos might be in my blog, but if they're not, have a look in my Instagram or my Periwinkle Cottage Crafts. My Instagram is at Claire Who Makes Things, with underscores between the Claire, you know, each word, Claire Who Makes Things, with underscores in between each one. So so it's this, and this is, now it's another designer that I love. It's Owl and the Sewing Cat. This is her cottage draft excluder design. It's absolutely massive, isn't it? And it's got a little bit of weight in it. The pattern doesn't tell you how much weight to put in it, it just tells you to put weight in it. So I've used plastic sandwich bags, because I no longer need plastic sandwich bags, and I'm being eco-friendly, and I'm using a you know, a reusable one. So I used 7 sandwich bags, and I put, this was just a guess, there was no instruction, 40 grams of rice in each one, and I taped them up with duct tape to make them small. So there's one of those in each house, and to weigh it down, and the rest of it is toy filling. So so yeah, so that's what I've got. So the one in the middle is quite fun. I did a lot how Tracy did it. I tried basically, because she's kind of took the guesswork out of it. I kind of placed things a lot where she did, but I did kind of place windows slightly different to some of them. I put a bit closer together, or I've put a different height and thing to Tracy, and I didn't do exactly the same with the trims. There isn't a pattern. Basically on the picture this has got bunting, but there isn't any bunting in the pattern, so I did do some bunting, and I think Tracy puts about 6 flags of bunting going across this cottage. But what I did, I designed my own triangle bunting, and I put 3 triangle, you know, flags on here, and I put 3 over here. And actually the buttons that I received in the kit wasn't exactly the same as the ones on the picture either. Tracy's, they were actually flower shapes. These ones, they just look like circles to you, but there is a picture, there's a white flower in it, and there's a pink one like that. And then I've added some extra free motion embroidery. I got a little bit fancy. Tracy'd done her numbers in black, but I did my numbers in metallic silver. I don't know how well you can see that. That says 30 on there, 28 on that one. They've gone up in 2s. I started at basically 18. So some of them on the doors, some of them, yeah, that's low on the door. Some of them are above the doors. That one's on the door. So yeah, I've done them all different places. And another thing I'm really addicted to doing, I've done this before, but I've free motioned grass in green metallic. And I often think, what can I make that I can put free motion metallic grass on? Because I just love it, right? And that's what I've done. The grass wasn't on the pattern, but I've done it all the way along. I had to do it obviously in sections. Like I've covered my grass up there with that little trim, but with the eye you can see it, but probably on camera you can't. So oh, I've knocked the dog over. So that was a really enjoyable mat, and it looks really pretty in my home. And I don't think I've got any drafts, because my husband is the kind of guy he's like, if there's a draft, he will find it. So, but it's just a pretty thing to have in my house. So I've mentioned my cottages. Now, there's another club then that's online, and there's basically a website, I think it's called Crafty Monkey, dresses, and they do workshops that you go to. I've never been to them, but they've done some online ones. I do think they might have sold out of them now, but I've signed up to one, and it's Janet Clare. Now you may have heard me going on about my Janet Clare quilt that I got the fabric. I got it just before Christmas. I've been getting the magazine every month with 2 blocks in, but haven't started it. Well, this weekend is the weekend. It's Saturday today. I'm going to start my Janet Clare quilt if time allows me to, you know, with family and everything, and because I'm obviously doing this video and things. So that's when I'm filming this. So hopefully you'll get this the same day, but if you don't, you'll understand it's because I'm doing my blog and things. So that has inspired me, because this Janet Clare Club one, it's going to literally be a one-off for 3 hours online, and I think it's using Zoom. Now I've not used Zoom before, so I have signed up to it, but I've not been involved in it. So it's going to be on there, but that has kind of pushed me to doing a bit of my Janet Clare, because I thought, well, I'm going to be on the Zoom. I've been doing a lot of free motion embroidery, and this quilt, this Janet Clare quilt I'm supposed to be doing, has got a lot of free motion embroidery, because that's what Janet likes. So while I'm in this free motion embroidery, gonna do this 3-hour thing with Janet Clare online, I thought I'm gonna get some of it done so I can show us. That's give me the kick up the bottom, basically. So dressmaking, I think that's everything I wanted us to speak about. That dressmaking, I am itching to do some more dressmaking. It might not sound it with all these other things I've got going on, and I have got to prioritise these clubs really, because the Poppy Treffry, it's the one every week for 6 weeks, and then I've got this one coming up with Janet Clare, and I want to get a bit of that done. But I do want to do some dressmaking, and the things that have sparked my interest, I was kind of thinking, oh, shall I do the Tilly and the Buttons Cocoa dress? And I know people that do dressmaking think, gosh, have you not done that already? I've had the pattern ages, and I bought the fabric late, I think last year, to make it, so that is on the agenda. But then when we had all that free warm weather, I kind of went off the idea again, because I get a bit hot and bothered, and then what's happened is the weather's dipped cold. I got in the mood for making it again, and then it's boiling again today. So there's some other dresses I really want to make. So I might make the cocoa, might not, I don't know yet, but some other dresses I'm really interested in, and I'll tell you where I got these. The one is the Christine Haynes Sylvie dress, and I got this from Frumble. They're a fabric shop online, but they're in Birmingham, and I, you know, I probably will make this, but I'll probably do adjustments. I might end up doing a different skirt. So basically, I probably will make this a 12 for it, but whether it ends up being the same as this, I don't know. I have started off with a Christine Haynes pattern before. If you saw my Halloween dress, so last October, that started off as a Christine Haynes dress. But by the time I'd done all these alterations, I put a totally different skirt on it. It didn't really resemble the dress, so I didn't say, oh, this is a Christine Haynes or whatever, because it wouldn't be fair to people, because it isn't that. And you know, if you made the dress, it wasn't going to end up looking like mine, so I thought that wasn't fair. So my dress might start off like this. Whether it'll end up like this, I don't know. And what appeals to me with this, it's sleeveless, and I'm a very warm person. Like if you speak to my husband, he's very cold and I'm very warm. Like I'm the person he puts his cold feet on, because I've always been a very warm person, like that. Well, I'm not saying I always feel warm. I do feel the cold, but people, when they touch me, they go, gosh, you're hot, they say to me. They've always said this, so you know, it's one of those things. So I like to, you know, be airy and free. And another pattern I've bought, I bought the most recent Love Sewing magazine. It's a delightful magazine actually. I've not bought many of them, but I quite like it. And then when I bought it, I bought a pattern. The pattern didn't come with a magazine. It arrived with it, but it didn't come with it. I just ordered it. And it's a simple sew, and I've not used any of their patterns before. And it's the Tara button back dress. and I'd probably, you know, I'll probably do a full bust adjustment on this. There's a dart on it already, so it'd be nice and simple to do. And that's that dress. It's got sleeves, it's not sleeveless, but I really fancy that, so I probably would make a toile out of my curtain fabric, and you never know, I might like it so much I might end up wearing it. But the thing is, I fell in love with this curtain fabric for clothing that much. I kind of think, well, I think I'd rather have another toile fabric and keep this so I could actually have something I know I'm going to end up wearing at the end of it, because you never know, you know, how many times you're going to have to make a toile before you get the right one. I know a lot of people might just go for it, but I have to do, because I'm quite a tiny frame, quite slim, but you know, I have to do a bit of a, you know, my bust measurement is larger than my hip measurement, not by much, but it is, and then my waist measurement is a smaller dress size than my hip and my bust measurement. But yes, it's strange. So if I did my under bust kind of measurements based on my body, not my chest, I'd kind of be the same size top and bottom, but a smaller waist. But putting up my other size, so basically I'd be like a bigger size, then I'd go down to one size on my hip and then go down even more on my waist. So I'm all over the place basically. So you basically, if you're a B cup and you're basically a really standard kind of size, you're laughing, because you can literally probably make a lot of patterns and not even have to do any toiles or adjusting. You probably just whack these clothes out, but unfortunately it's not that simple for me. I have to do a lot of messing around before I actually have a dress. So anyway, something kind of more, but don't worry, I do enjoy doing this kind of thing, so don't feel too bad for me. But it would be nice, wouldn't it, just to cut, oh, this is my size, cut it out, oh, I've got it and wear it kind of thing. But no, it's not that simple. Something a little bit exciting for me. I used to have a coffee machine in my craft room, because my husband brought one home from work, and then so I had one in here, and but then what happened is I ordered some coffees and they wasn't the right coffees, because I like to have coffees in here that don't need to add milk because the milk is in the pod kind of thing. But what happened is I ordered the wrong coffees, so, and they were really bitter tasting coffees, and I thought, oh, I do not like these. But actually I had them first thing in the morning, and now they're like my go-to coffee first thing in the morning. I don't really fancy them the rest of the day, but first thing in the morning I could drink one or two of them. And so I've moved that coffee machine into there, so now the two machines are in there, because my husband likes the other machine and I've got that one. So, and he puts one of those in for me in the morning, and he has to add milk to it, and I don't want to have to send him in here, so I'm without a coffee machine in here. So I was just living with that, you know, that's life, no coffee machine in here. But the place that I order my husband's coffee from, they were doing a deal. If you add 8 boxes of coffee to your basket, it's a limited edition thing. You can only have 2 of them. If you add 8 boxes, you can basically have this bundle where you get a mini machine. So I've ordered it, so I've had to basically make a space that I'd filled up for a new coffee machine in here again, so that's quite exciting. So yeah, so I'm just coffee crazy. I have got tea drinkers in the house, but I'm a bit of a coffee person. So yes, that's something a bit exciting. So that's what's happening at the moment. That's what I've been making. That's what I kind of I've got planned, and I'm still practicing doing my little movie making, so sorry if it's driving you mad, but I've really enjoyed trying to put these videos and trying to put music in and doing these clips. It's a lot of work, but yeah, so I'm starting to feel myself a little bit more actually doing sewing. But actually when I've put the videos together, I've ended up using a tiny little snippet, because it actually gets quite boring just watching somebody sitting there sewing. You only need to see the sewing really just for a few seconds if you're playing music and things. So so I hope you're enjoying these little video snippets I've been bringing on my social media. I might add some at the end of this, as I say, or it might be my blog, so it should be in the description, so check out the blog, and I hope to see you soon with some more makes. Thank you for watching. Bye.